Happy Wednesday, everyone. A big day for movie trailers. We've got Supergirl, Masters of the Universe, some other stuff, lots of movie news, and we have a special interview with the founders of Yow.tv. Will be joining us in about an hour to talk indie film, where the industry is, how to get your movie distribution. I think it'll be a useful conversation because they actually, help distribute indie films. Hey, where's Alan, man?
The sun is dying and I can't find Alan.
Your savior is here.
You're always you're always late, man. What are you doing?
Hey.
We have here we are.
There's so much stuff going on right now.
Alan better not be late this time.
From good old Palm, Alan better not be too late this time.
Yeah. Well, we were talking before the stream started that we are going to CinemaCon. This is our announcement that we will be at CinemaCon all week. There'll be no verses that week, no Hollywood on the Rocks. We're just doing daily, if not twice a day, live streams from CinemaCon. Some of your friends and that you're familiar with might be there as well. So there you go. And someone says, hey, the nerd far away. I say that's a nice Dune jacket, Chris. Yes, it is. I got it off shop.legendary.com. They're not a sponsor.
That's not a Dude Wipes jacket.
I buy Dude Wipes. They look like they use the same font as Dune, oddly enough. But our show's big, so we got to get going. But before we do, let's say hi to a few people and go to shop.filmthreat.com. Get your Project Film Threat shirt. I love it. And Alan, let's say hi to some people here.
Oh, yes. Andrew Cram gifted 5 Film Threat memberships.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm now following you on X. I didn't know. I don't really check my messages all that much on X. So there you go. Thank you, Andrew. Big supporter of the channel. Look who became a new member.
Yes. Fuish American become YouTube member.
Thank you, Fuish.
Let's see. Happy from Christopher Moonlight Productions. Happy Wednesday. I searched the internet and there's still no better place for legit indie film coverage than Film Threat. It's true. It's damn true.
Oh, thank you, Chris. We appreciate you. Check out his column on filmthreat.com and go to his Substack.
Yeah, Lord Thought, share, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. And buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com, which is what you see right now.
There you go. Well, we've got a lot of trailers, Alan. Let's get to the trailers. Masters of the Universe. Well, let me just say this. I was not a fan of He-Man. Because He-Man came out at a time when I was more a teen. I thought the show was for kids, not really for me. Didn't really get into it. And, I understand it's for, so I have no, I don't know. Will the movie be good? I'm not sure. But a second trailer has dropped. Were you a He-Man fan, Alan?
No, I'm the same thing. I believe I was more or less an adult when he came out.
Yeah.
So, no, I was watching General Hospital.
But look, I love fantasy. There were a little fantasy, sci-fi, all in here. Here's the new trailer. Let's check it out.
I know most of you don't remember me, but I know all of you.
I love that.
Even though I was stuck light years away on Earth, I never stopped trying to get back home.
Everything changed since you left.
It's all gone. Skeletor took my family. And he destroyed our world.
I do like the ship design.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
I like this
I
90s.
know how it feels to fail.
It does have a 90s feel.
And when you fall, that's your chance to stand tall.
I guess Albert Pune had money. They gave him
Yeah,
money.
yeah. Sword the Sorcerer.
Yeah.
The universe shall quake in my shadow.
This is my home. I'm gonna fight for it. But I can't do it without you.
Somebody wants to brawl.
I need every man, woman, or whatever that is.
Okay.
You may have the power, but you're too scared to use it. Trust me.
Skeletor.
I know how to use it.
You tell everyone that you're from another planet. It just makes you sound a little very crazy.
All right, Alan. What'd you think?
You know, like I said, it feels very 90s, and I have more nostalgic feelings than anything else. I'm looking at the dates. Yeah, 83 to 85. I mean, that's the back end of high school for me. And
Yeah, same with me.
I was watching Robotech. I wasn't watching Masters of the Universe.
I do like I get little vibes like the Sam Jones Flash Gordon with the
Yeah.
Queen soundtrack, and that's one of my all-time favorites. Also a little bit of Krull. You mix
Mhm.
fantasy with sci-fi. I like the idea. He's I think it's well cast. People will of course complain about Idris Elba, but it's Idris Elba. I don't know about Jared Leto as Skeletor. Like,
But you don't
it's
really
just
see
doing-
him.
we're just doing the voice, but
Yeah.
I hope they make some kind of reference to, you know, that weird meme where it's like Skeletor comes and tells you some weird fact and then runs away. It'd be funny if they did that. But look, it looks like like we saw a couple years ago, the Dungeons and Dragons with Chris Pine.
Mhm.
I get that kind of vibe. Will it be a great movie? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Will it be a fun movie for kids and maybe adults with nostalgia? I think it will.
I think this is definitely the better trailer compared to the earlier one. I think this defines kind of the story much better. It gives you a taste and the feel of the action and the setting and everything. So well done.
Yeah, well, you know what? As a bucket connoisseur, I will say this: you get the bucket, but look at this. They have a He-Man sword straw that holds, what is it? It's a drinking cup that holds 40 ounces. It's at
God.
Regal. That's from He-Mania.com.
Why is there? So is that supposed to be actual size popcorn bucket? And you're making a comparison here?
No, just to give it the scale, but it holds
So-
40 ounces of liquid and it's a sword. I could see using that for not soda, like some other kind of drink.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I might get that.
Yeah.
I might
Fill it
get
with
that.
some
That'd be good. No,
Jergens
it's
or
just
something.
it's my toy sword. It's
Okay.
gonna bring into the theater filled with something.
Yes.
Filled with something.
By the way, a lot of Robotech fans in the chat right now.
Well, they are.
I love Robotech. I own toys from Robotech. I sold them for a lot of money.
Hey, let's talk about this Backrooms. The trailer hit, and I hear, look, it's coming from it's A24. I'm already interested. Want to see it because of that. It has Chiwetel Ejiofor, who I've always liked in movies. It's based on, I guess, a YouTube series that's also a game. Do you know anything about
No, I know
Backrooms? Okay, you need to see this trailer. And I'm putting it on your list. I know you don't normally like horror. This is more psychological horror. It looks very much like Exit 8. I'm seeing Exit 8 on Monday. So check this out, Alan. I'm not telling you anything about it. Just watch this trailer.
I found something in the store.
Okay. What did you find?
The place. I found a place.
हम जमीन के रहने वालों की तरफ से
Hello?
आपको खुशामदीद कहते हैं।
Anyone there? Look, I know how this sounds, but you gotta understand, it's massive in there.
I'm not saying I don't believe you.
Okay, I'm gonna come back here with proof. All right, you filming? Yeah. Follow my lead.
Clark, what is this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I've been here every night since I found the place, and I still barely scratched the surface. All right, just take it slow.
Oh my God.
Pull me up, pull me up, pull me up! What do you see?
All these rooms. This place built some.
It's like a maze. It just goes on and on. Sometimes I'm scared I'll get lost.
Clark, can you hear me?
I don't understand. What is this?
It's beautiful.
Am I right?
Hello?
I'm in. I am so in. I like weird horror like that. I'm going to see Exit 8. Alan, what do I have to say to convince you to go see it?
I mean, I may see it. I don't know. I'm getting anxiety just watching it. This is the claustrophobia. It's the idea of getting lost in a room in a giant.
Well,
house.
it's also like, it feels very dreamlike. I've had weird dreams where you can't leave a place no matter how much you go out the exit and you're still in the same room. It's a weird dreamlike quality. I've already heard some things about the lore of this. It sounds amazing.
It is.
I'm a sucker for anything A24.
I mean, the reason this movie looks like it's going to be good is look, any movie that engages you emotionally, whether good, bad, positive, negative, is a good movie. The movies that are bad are the ones that you disconnect from while watching it. And this one looks like it's going to pull you in, which is a testament to, like I said, how good this movie could possibly be.
Well, I am there day one, and I think the chat should decide whether you will go to this.
I always feel like when you say ask the chat, we already know the answer.
You already know the answer. You're going. You're going.
I'm going.
Hey, before we get to Supergirl trailer reaction and news, Film Threat has a sponsor. Yeah, directed by another YouTuber. We could hide that comment for a sec. Yeah, directed by another YouTuber like Markiplier. But hey, before we go on to more news and whatnot, Film Threat actually has a sponsor. I'm excited for you, hopefully, to see this and check this out if you're so inclined. Here's my problem with modern sci-fi. It always cuts to black right when I start caring. Project Hail Mary? Great. Humanity survives. Science wins. And then we're done. No, I want to stay in that universe. Drop me in a random star system. Low fuel, no plan. Let me figure it out. That's why Foundation Galactic Frontiers is interesting. Yes, that Foundation. Isaac Asimov. The guy who basically wrote the playbook Hollywood keeps borrowing. You're not the hero. No chosen one nonsense. You're a traitor. You explore, make deals, pick fights you probably shouldn't, and live with it. Meanwhile, you're running your ship, building it piece by piece, managing crew resources, basically trying not to suffocate in deep space. Always a plus. And when things go south, they really go south. Ship combat, ground combat, because space wasn't dangerous enough already. What I like is the scale. You feel small. The universe feels huge, and no one's coming to save you. That's sci-fi. Check the link in the description or scan the QR code to download it. Mobile, PC, your choice. You'll get a free hero and battleship to start, and use my code for extra resources. Because trust me, you're going to need the help. Movies end. This is where the story keeps going. I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I almost feel like we're a real YouTube channel now. Are we a real YouTube channel? We have a sponsor, just like It's a Gundam and Jeremy Johns and everyone else. I'm like watching their commercials. I'm like, how come we never get? Yes, Davina Duckworth. Yes, I read Foundation when I was way too young, like in like 3rd or 4th grade. I was like, I don't get this. This is weird. But
did you ever play the game Traveler?
Never played that, but
yeah,
no,
I mean that's what it reminds me of. I played Traveler maybe for a year or so when I was in my Dungeons and Dragons days, but it feels like a lot like that.
Well, I like the Dune game for the Sega Genesis and Sega CD, which was like a similar game to that. So I have a PS5 and I play things on mobile. I'm waiting for that Dune game to come out on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so please check it out. And there was a little break. I could go to the bathroom during that. So I know what I said. All right, Alan, Supergirl is coming.
That's what she said.
I think, yeah, well, okay. The Supergirl movie is coming. I should qualify that. And we're going to take a look at the trailer. I know it's been out for a full day, so you've probably seen a lot of trailer reactions already, but you haven't seen Alan react to it.
Yes, I did not know there was a Supergirl.
What Alan has to say.
I know.
Hey,
yeah, I'll say exactly whether this is good or not, but you got to put it on the big screen there.
I'm gonna put it on the big screen.
What are you doing?
I'm doing it. And just I gotta here we go. Putting it on the big screen here, and let's watch it, Alan. Okay. I really can't wait to hear what you have to say. Ready at Baby Crypto. We got Baby Yoda, Baby Crypto, Baby Chewbacca. That's probably coming. I'm just a guess.
Plushies are already being made.
Yeah, but let's that shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much Game of Thrones.
Well, it worked back then.
Yeah, here we go. All right, John Wick.
So they didn't kill the dog. They poison the dog.
Poison the dog. 3 days. Ticking clock. Let's go. Craig Gillespie. Probably through the lens of little James Gunn. It looks very James Gunn. I've heard people say this movie looks like the fake movie at the end of Fall Guy with Jason Momoa. So she has like a girl tagging along with her.
Yeah.
Trying to help her dog.
And not sure this song is helping either.
This is the crypto connected universe. Let's keep watching. I think, you know what? I think Millie Alcock is very good. She's very good. Well cast. She's really good in He's better as Lobo than he is as Aquaman. As Aquaman, he was channeling Lobo. So Brown kind of, I'm not sure I really like it.
Yeah. Am I wrong? Crypto was a real dog in Superman, right? Or or was I fooled that badly?
What do you mean?
In Superman, in James Gunn Superman, Crypto was a real dog.
No, it was a digital dog. I mean, maybe they had a stand-in dog.
I mean, I think, but for the most part, it was a real dog, right?
Yeah. Well, Alan, what do you think?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is who is the audience for this movie, and is that audience going to come out and see that movie over and over and over again? Because I can't believe the Venn diagram of this movie and Barbie is that there's a lot of crossover between the two.
Well, I said, and somehow got into it with Angry Joe. I don't know. All I said was, we'll talk about it when Millie Alcock talks about this, but it looks very derivative. It looks like Guardians 4, Guardians of the Galaxy 4. It looks very much like a lot of the same elements as Superman, although it does seem she is more the focus of this story. It's not all over the map, juggling a lot of other characters.
Right, which is, unlike Superman.
Right. So where Superman was kind of like part of an ensemble movie. So I'm not really enthusiastic. And I kind of feel like this could end up being like the Marvels in terms of box office and level of success.
But I'll say this, from a story standpoint, this looks much better than the Marvels. But
True.
at the same time, who is the audience? Because I'm not the audience for this movie. I'll see it out of professional obligation. But the other thing is, there are other things like Marvel. The reason the first few phases of Marvel worked is because in space everything was wacky. On Earth it was all deadly serious. Here again, it's just the continuation of the Gunverse, where everything is wacky everywhere. Look, and I think it's okay if the audience for this movie is primarily female, that's okay. It's just on you for how much you're going to budget that movie and whether you want that movie to make a lot of money or not. Because I don't think there's any Barbie juice behind this one.
No, I feel like, and I've got into it with a few people on X, but I don't really engage all that much. I try to just here's my reasoned argument. I don't think women see themselves as superheroes or gun-toting, John Wick, vengeful characters. The films I think that resonate, and when I say resonate with women, I don't mean all women. I mean most, for the most part.
Yeah. Enough to make it a blockbuster movie.
Yeah. Barbie, The Devil Wears Prada 2, which, mark my words, will be a hit. That movie will be a big hit.
Regardless of whether we like it or not.
Everyone I know that identifies as female wants to see The Devil Wears Prada 2. I just think certain types of storytelling and movies appeal to different genders. That's the way it is. Men are mostly, and I feel like if you're going to make a Supergirl movie that would appeal to fans of comics that are men, mostly men. I'm sorry, mostly, not all, but mostly.
Yeah. Well,
this may not work.
Well, the way I always describe it is we hate these movies because they're bad. They love these movies because we hate these movies.
Yeah. Hey, let's mix it up. Millie Alcock speaks on Supergirl. You've seen the Variety taking excerpts. We have the story from Vanity Fair. There were Millie Alcock did an interview with Vanity Fair where she discusses Supergirl, and we're going to get it right from the source. Let me bring this up on screen. Alan, I know you have notes.
Yes.
Let's go through this.
Right. Well, Millie Alcock approaches her leap into the superhero genre with a mix of ambition and unease. Fully aware of the pressure that comes with embodying an iconic female character, she compares the experience to be overwhelmed by a force she can't control, admitting, "Of course I'm scared. Of course I want people to like me in the movie, but ultimately it's out of my control." Her reaction reflects a broader reality for women in superhero roles, where expectations are massive and scrutiny is relentless, turning what should be a breakthrough into something closer to a public stress test. Her perspective on Supergirl reshapes the traditional superhero narrative into something more intimate and emotionally grounded. Rather than portraying a flawless savior, Alcock emphasizes a heroine struggling internally, explaining that Kara Zor-El is not trying to save the world, she's just trying to save her own. That doesn't make sense. This framing brings a distinctly human and often female-coded lens to the genre, one centered on self-discovery, vulnerability, and emotional survival rather than pure spectacle. Alcock even sees herself reflected in the role, noting, "That's me, man. I'm a mess," suggesting a deeper alignment between actor and character that challenges the genre's usual polish. At the same time, Alcock is candid about the gendered realities of stepping into such a visible space. She points out that being a woman in fandom-heavy franchises invites levels of commentary that goes far beyond performance. Simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on. She further critiques the culture surrounding female celebrities, adding, "We have been very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies." These observations underline how the superhero genre, despite its fantastical elements, still reflect a very societal dynamic between how women are judged, discussed, and often objectified at a disproportionate level. Ultimately, Alcock entries into the superhero world highlights a shift in how female superheroes are portrayed and experienced. Her focus isn't on perfection or universal approval, but on authenticity and personal grounding. And as she put it, "I can't really stop them. I can only be myself." That mindset reframes the genre itself, not as a pedestal for untouchable icons, but as a space where women can exist as complicated, evolving individuals, even under the brightest spotlight.
Well, this Vanity Fair article was definitely cherry picked by Variety for the most incendiary comments, and it got that reaction. The reaction on X and social media has been wildly negative to these comments. She's not doing a good job selling the movie. She's talking about how the fans are kind of a-holes for looking at her as a woman. And to that I say, that's what the money's for.
Yeah.
Now that you're a millionaire, you've been in House of the Dragon. I think she's a very accomplished actress. I have liked her in everything I've seen her in. So, but if you care about what a 13-year-old on X or in Instagram comments thinks, I don't know, just look at your bank balance. Maybe that'll make you feel better. I really find it difficult to have any sympathy for actors who, kind of like she's pre-lashing out for any criticism of her in the movie. And she's very self-conscious. I mean, look, I just think at the end of the day, this is not going to help sell the movie. In the same way that Rachel Zegler was not doing Snow White any favors. She has it's very early stages on the promotion. What we're less than 3 months away from this movie being out. It has the possibility to kind of sour the audience that might be interested. Alan, what do you think?
Yeah. So after reading this article, it's clear they're taking this female property and entering a male space with it. And the problem is men don't like what the women did with their space or with their space. Look, I'm looking at this one sentence. Her perspective on Supergirl reshapes the traditional superhero narrative into something more intimate and emotionally grounded. Who said we wanted that? Who said that we as men wanted you to come into our superhero genre and make something more intimate and emotionally grounded? Again, they don't understand the audience. They don't understand. They don't understand the fundamental reason why Barbie succeeded and why this will fail. Because you're entering a male space and demanding to redecorate it and forcing us to accept the changes you've made. And I hate to say it, the box office is going to show that we didn't accept the changes that you made.
And objectively speaking, we reviewed the Anya Taylor-Joy in the Mad Max movie.
Yeah, Furious.
Yeah, Furiosa, and it was a good movie. It was a really good film. I didn't notice many comments that Anya Taylor-Joy said about, and that movie bombed, and it's good. this movie could very well be a good film, but this fatigue of like yet again, I feel like just being appreciative. I can't wait for fans to see Supergirl. You're going to see a side of her you haven't seen maybe in the comics. You've only glimpsed it. We're going places. My biggest complaint about it is not Millie Alcock. It's the fact that there's a sameness about it. It looks like Guardians of the Galaxy 4. It looks like another James Gunn joint, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the worst part about that trailer. When you think of the Fast and Furious series, what's the one word you think of?
Family.
After watching that trailer, what's the one word you think of?
Not family.
Well, it's home.
Right,
It's
home.
I mean, that word is being pushed hard in that trailer, which shows you that they don't really, I don't know, which shows you the storytelling is suspect. You know, the fact that, you know, I mean, that again, they don't understand the audience. I'm not looking for a superhero that's trying to find her place in home, trying to find a home. I'm looking for a superhero that's going to do superhero things and overcome evil. Go ahead.
I'm looking for a character that will inspire me to be a better person.
Yeah.
And
inspire me to sacrifice, to go beyond myself for the greater good.
What are her virtues? What does Supergirl stand for? And I feel like what I got from this is she cares a lot about herself, her dog, and just getting trashed at dive bars, which in and of itself, I would not be completely against.
Let's just say Adam Sandler made an entire career out of those movies, but that's not this one.
I got one more news story before we go to your comments. Then we got some Avengers Doomsday stories to get to. Drew Goddard, the screenwriter behind Project Hail Mary, he worked with Andy Weir, also on The Martian, wrote the script for that. Drew Goddard is a true talent. He was on Josh Horowitz's podcast, and he had some things to say about a Sinister 6 movie. Alan, you gotta see this.
I know. Well, I want to see a Sinister 6 movie.
Well, I would love to see it. Wait, what's going on here?
You opened it and it started playing by itself.
Okay.
Sinister 6.
Okay, wait, let's do this up correctly. I like to do these things professionally. Let's see how I do. Not so good so far.
Good scene.
Let's go.
Good for you.
Let's go. Listen to what he had to say about Sinister 6.
What ifs? This is a good segue. Sinister 6.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this is a sore point or it's a happy memory. I mean, was it a completed script? I mean,
no, we were in prep. We were in deep prep. I had a whole art department. Martin Wist was my production designer who did Cabin with me, who did Bad Times at the El Route, did Cloverfield. Like, we had a whole operation there at the Sony lot, and it was definitely it was a very Drew approach to a Spider-Man movie, I would say, in the sense of like, I was swinging for the fences. Like, we were going for it.
You said it was kind of a heist movie. You would describe it as that? No. Oh,
well,
okay.
Maybe I did. I mean, what I thought of it was a summer annual. And if you're a comic book reader, especially at the time I was making it, I felt that comic books became very much about this serialized story. The movies became so much about like, well, this movie's just about somebody gets a jewel to get to the next thing, to get to the thing.
Right.
And it worked really well. But I felt like what I loved about summer annuals in the comic book world is you had the serialized story.
Yeah.
And then every summer, there would be a giant size issue that had nothing to do with the serialized story, where the main character usually got yanked out of the normal life and thrown into an insane situation. And that's what I wanted to do with Spider-Man. I just felt like that would be fun, and let's go for it. Let's sort of throw all the things that I love about Spider-Man in there. And they let me do it. And the problem was, I remember sitting there with my script the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, when the FBI swarms up to the Sony lot and the helicopters, and I'm like, what's going on? And I remember I saw Michael Linton walking past it. I'm like, Michael, what's happening?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was like, wasn't that the email
leaks? The email leaks. And yeah, you got to hear what he explains it.
Happening. He's like, this is the FBI. All the computers are down. I'm sorry, I gotta go. Like he didn't have time to talk to me.
Sure.
But I remember thinking, oh, this is bad, because I called my assistant and go, I think you can go home for the day. It seems like we should probably we're done. I don't think any of us realized how bad it was going to be. But over the course of the next few weeks, you saw the damage that happened to Sony. We were one of the casualties of it.
So was the six? Was it Doc Ock, Vulture, Craven, Mysterio, Sandman, Electro? Is that what my six are?
No, but it may have been at different versions. That was the case. Like we've changed, like as one can imagine.
Of course,
one of the fun parts of any Sinister Six story is picking who the six are.
Right.
And oh my God, I mean, that alone. When you ask, like, am I sad? I'm obviously sad I didn't get to make the movie, but I did get to make the movie for myself. I'm just sad no one else got to see it. I got to spend, when I think of it like this, is I spent a year of my life playing with Spider-Man, right? Like that was my job. So I'm not angry about it. I'm grateful. I'm always grateful that anyone pays me to do anything. Like anyone that I can make a living doing art. And if you told me I could just come up with Spider-Man stories for a year, great.
Speaking of that, like, correct me if I'm wrong, was there a moment after that you were close to actually doing a Spider-Man film? And was that the next iteration? Was that Spider-Man 3 of
So they obviously know Sinister Six movie. I predict they end up doing one eventually. And who knows, with the success of Project Hail Mary, they may come back to Drew Goddard for it.
Yeah. I've never hated North Korea more in my lifetime than right now.
Well, yeah, basically derailed this movie. Let's finish what he has to say.
But Andrew, or was that the next new Spider-Man?
I mean, I don't know that the truth is I've been fortunate enough to be asked to do a lot of different superhero films. And I don't, to be honest, we're now talking about so long ago, I don't know what's official and what's not. But I always am grateful that people want to talk, and it's all about timing. So much of this stuff is about timing and the right fit, because I don't like to just do it for the sake of doing it. I like to be able, like any of these movies that we're talking about 3 years of my life. Right. It's 3 years. And so I have to that has to line up with what they want to do and make sure it's the right fit. And when it's not, we just realize we'll do it later. Nothing ever really dies. Like
it'll be reiterated.
I'm a patient person, and it's more important that we do it right than we do it.
Well, like every actor at some point will play Hamlet and Batman, and every writer director will do a Spider-Man.
That's
movie.
how it feels. That is how it feels. Yes,
it's a really great interview. I strongly recommend you sub to Josh Horowitz channel, but also it's a really good interview about Project Hail Mary, among other things.
I feel like instead of getting Drew Goddard for stuff, we got Alex Kurtzman instead.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's funny because later in the interview, Drew talks about he helped map out James Gunn's DCU.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on, I won't play the clip, it's short, but he talks about how he basically, James Gunn was pitching all these wild ideas, and Drew Goddard's like, those are all great. You should do all those ideas. And that was his contribution. He basically just told James Gunn, like, wow, those are really wild, over the, swinging in front of the fence.
Because he wants to be a part of it. Why not?
You should do them all.
Yeah.
So he was
I'll do this one for you.
Yeah. He's the cheerleader in the room. Anyways, really good interview. So any thoughts on this, Alan, before we go to comments?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, boy, he seems to know a lot about comic books, how they work, why.
Well, when he talked about like the giant size, I loved giant size. When I was a kid, you get the giant size comic, or they used to call them annuals, and they were a thicker comic that had like some news story that was standalone, not part of the chronology. And then it also reprinted older comics, which I couldn't afford as a kid. But I'd read those reprinted stories, from Fantastic Four issue 16, like. I love giant size. So when he said that, I was like, he's the guy. I hope he does get to make it.
Yeah.
So.
I remember I was paying 40 cents for comic books, and then that giant size for 75 cents would come out, and you're like, oh my God, can I really afford 75 cents?
Well, and the worst part is when it would say still only 40 cents, then you knew it was going to go up by a nickel or a dime. And
I know.
When I started buying comics, they were 20 cents. then 25.
Yeah.
I mean, they just kept every year, they just went up.
I remember I go to the comic book store with like $3 in my pocket going, man, oh boy, $3. That's going to go real fast.
Let's go to comments. We got a lot of great comments here. Hey, and Nerd Cookies is here.
Hey.
Oh my God. Appreciate her so much.
Okay. Well, foolish American. Hello, Hollywood on the rocks.
No, locks.
On the locks.
Yes, on the locks. Hey, thank you.
Michael Thomas for 5. Thank you for that. Hey, Alan and Chris. Happy April Fool's Day. Thanks for the show. You guys are great.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe
Michael
that wasn't
Thomas.
the Supergirl trailer we saw.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
an
that-
April Fool's.
All right. Foolish American for 5. Not a great plan by WB to make Dune the same as Avengers. Should I be around to do it? Avengers will make a lot of dollar.
It'll make a lot of dollar.
You're just forcing ours.
Absolutely, foolish American. Appreciate you.
Okay, yeah. Let me address this, John Manilang, member for 44. It's Macross, Alan, not Robotech. I thought you were a true Asian. Look, it was called Robotech when I watched it back in the 80s. I don't know.
Thank you,
I
John
understand
Manilang.
Macross.
Appreciate you.
I understand
Thanks, London.
Macross. I understand all that, but the television listing said Robotech.
Wait,
And
we're
by
gonna
the way,
save these.
yeah. By the way,
Dune comes
one of the toys was the motorcycle suit that could transform from a motorcycle into a battle suit, and it actually did. All right, box office brawler, friend from Monday for $4.99. The Backrooms is the start of something big in horror. Get ready for 10 more of these movies to follow. Also, a big thank you for bringing me on Monday.
You know what? Box office brawler, you didn't break the show. You stood your ground.
Yes.
You were good.
You
You'll be
defended
back.
your youth.
Yeah, let's have you back. We'll let the chat decide. Let's see if the chat. He did a great job in the show. We want new blood, not necessarily people who agree with us on everything.
Jacob Wolf for $1.99. It's only 261 days till Doomsday.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, well, that number may have to be adjusted.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jacob Wolf, Wonder Woman 2017 was probably the best female-led superhero movie by default. She's putting out fires before the fires even start. Yeah,
I like the first Wonder Woman movie. I mean, with the exception of the villain at the end is kind of weak, but she was great. The whole World War I era was awesome. Her origin.
The point is that was a superhero movie.
Yes, it was a superhero movie.
I don't know what they're not getting. Indie Shade for 2. Alcock's primary function in life is to be hot. Yes.
Well, I think that's part of the job, but that's not what a character is about. Character is about virtuousness. She's a very attractive woman. I think.
By the way,
anybody argues that
men in these movies have to be good looking and muscular.
Yes.
And, to say that they're different standards, yes, but hot is still the standard for both.
Well, I mean, in Marvel movies, the men are required to take their shirts off.
Yeah. Like I said, my daughter's problem with Marvel Rivals is all the women have big boobs. Flying blind on a rocket cycle for $1.99. Good day, gents.
Hey, good day to you. I love the reference. Flash Gordon.
Axel's Abode, remember, for 19 months. Your favorite film with the names in the title?
Jerry Maguire, which is being re-released from Fathom Events.
Yeah.
I unabashedly love Jerry Maguire. It's a love story. It's also about a guy who has he has a mission, the mission statement. I've done stuff like that. He has values. He wants to stand for his values. He's fired for that. I like that movie. I know it's maybe earnest or a little sappy for some. I like Jerry Maguire, and it's his name in the title.
Mine is Eddie the Eagle.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mark Fields for $1.99. Positive vibes to all.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
And another one here.
And Helpless Heroes for 5 months. What happened with Angry Joe? Yeah, I don't know anything about this Angry Joe thing.
He quote tweeted me and did a rant and called me names.
Good for him.
And I didn't even know that he did that until Gary told me.
Well, I hope he got a lot of views for it, a lot of impressions from it.
I kind of feel like I triggered a lot of people by just pointing out all I said about Millie Alcock was Rachel Zegler vibes. My point was, please don't ruin the movie by talking about things that aren't related to the movie. You're going to turn people off, and it's going to turn off a certain segment of the audience. Not me. I get what you're saying, but why would you do that when you spent $100 million on this film? And my point seemed to be lost. I feel like I have to speak in a way to people where, it's disheartening that
or you should stop saying,
you don't understand nuance.
Yeah, you should stop saying controversial things on social media.
Yes, Alan, keep reading from the bottom. Go back up. Yeah. I got some personal business.
By the way, I mean, I really want to know her position on Palestine. Let's see.
No. Be right back.
Let's see. So we're skipping the Superman stuff or no?
Just go up.
Okay. Okay. No. Okay. That one's for later. Here we go. MK Solid. The 1987 He-Man had more creative perks. They had William Stout as a production designer. Frank Langella as Skeletor was amazing. It had more smokes and mirrors. Sometimes is a good thing. No, that's the thing. I think I got that sense from the trailer there. A.D. Ellis, P time for Frank. Am I get? Let's see. Laura, I think. Let's see. Davina Duckworth. They managed to make He-Man generic. Yeah, I can't speak to that. I don't know. I don't know the show. Again, was watching Macross / Robotech. Let's see. Do we get this one? The Immortal Remus Backrooms look interesting. I hope we're returning to one of those eras of unique concepts in film again. I wonder if this will be a mystery film I see next week at my local.
Well, we'll see. And look, hey, Michael Collins says Robert Kearney for $1.99.
Yeah. Well, John Wick is another one.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. We'll get to these comments at the end of the show. You know what? We're gonna let's do our interview right now. Let's do our interview.
Okay.
We have we're gonna talk Avengers Doomsday and Dune and DunesDay after this. We have Joey and Brian are here from Yow.tv. They're gonna join us here, answer all your questions about the indie film revolution. They're here on the show. Let's talk to them. Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for being
early. We don't feel so nervous right now. So
Speak for yourself.
Thank you. Wait, where are you guys at right now?
We're the editing capital of the world, Greenville, South Carolina. That's right. It's actually where we just finished a film in Thailand, and our editor lives here. So we do a lot of back and forth. By the way, it's a beautiful place. Yeah, if you haven't been, come visit. It's really, really nice.
Wait, is that really the editing capital? Or are you just okay? All right. I was like, I
was going to say Romania.
Yeah, they moved out of LA and went to Greenville. Yeah. Everybody left LA, went to Austin, went to Nashville. I think there's a handful of people here as well. So.
Yeah. Well, you guys make films. You started a platform called Yow.tv. I need to thank you. Also, we could not have pulled off our award show, Award This, without your generous support. We appreciate it. Thank you. I feel like we have many aligned, what our goal is we want to lift up indie filmmakers. We want to let audiences on YouTube and wherever they're watching us, want to let them know about indie film. And we cover them every week. Tell me about your guys' background in filmmaking and then how you got to Yow.tv. Did you see a need? Like something's got to happen?
Yeah, definitely. So I was a crew guy. I was in the camera and lighting department, mostly lighting, and find myself kind of, 5 or 6 years in, hiring people twice my age and not really interested in the lighting world as much as I was on the creative side of things. I was a musician, aspiring musician at the time, really hyper focused on that. And then I'm 25 and I'm the old guy at the bars and stuff playing the shows, and I'm like, what the hell, man? How did this happen? But yeah, I mean, I worked in the industry for quite some time, and maybe when I was 25, 26, started a production company, started shooting like the worst music videos of all time, including my own. And things got better and better, and figured out that people just want to make cool shit together. And so we got to pull in a ton of different favors, and we were doing some really fun stuff. Then I got into advertising and politicals, which I never ever would recommend to anybody. But and then I teamed up with this guy here, and we did a film together in 2022. We can dive into that in a little bit here, but that kind of set off this need in the industry right now, this massive gap we think that needs to happen. So
yeah, and I got my teeth in on the editing side. Lots of unscripted television, everything from Undercover Boss, Biggest Loser, and then created a production company, sold some shows, got more onto the production side of stuff. Then before I knew it, nobody was doing the budgets. I'm doing the budgets, doing the scheduling, going in the field, directing it, producing it. Just you find yourself doing everything. Meanwhile, always doing commercials and music videos with friends and helping friends with their films, and getting paid in the unscripted world. And finally got out of that when COVID hit. It was, as we all know, LA just became a shell of the city, and it was breaking my heart going around. Everything's closed. Never thought I would leave LA. And I was complaining to my friend and who lived in St. Petersburg, Florida. He's like, get out of there, man. Just come hang out in Florida. And then through a mutual friend, Joey and I linked up, and we've been at it now for, over 5 years.
Yeah.
As a producing partner and team. So, which then leads us to the film that we did, which Protocol 7, controversial film. And, as everybody knows, getting your own title out is very, very difficult. It's just hard in its own, no matter what the subject title is. Joey and I take on this monumental task of a film that's dealing with a pharmaceutical company and fraud and
massive case
that had been going on for 15 years. Wow. And it was happening as we got the script. So Joey read it and was like, dude, this is incredible. You should read it. We've been talking about wanting to do something that mattered. And so I said, all right, man, I'll get my eyes on it. I read it. I was blown away. At that time, I was talking with my wife about starting a family, and, with childhood vaccines and the schedule and all this stuff, I had no clue, guys. I had zero. It was never mentioned in my household. None of my friends ever talked about that. None of my friends with kids talk about this. It's, taboo. And I read it. I was like, this is insane. And this is a real story. We need to get this out there just to get a conversation started. I don't care what your political beliefs are. I don't care if you're pro-vaccines or anti them. It doesn't matter. I think we should all collectively have a conversation about that stuff. So,
fraud is fraud.
Yeah.
Like, this was a story that came to whistleblower virologists from the Merck lab, right? So, and it was a massive case. Like we said, it was initially the United States versus Merck.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew at that point, we're like, okay, well, our aspirations of like mainstream, all that's gone, which is cool. We were so done with that anyway. Yeah. And both Brian and myself have been contrarians our entire lives, and we like to do fun, crazy shit together. Yeah. And that was our first task, and it was great. But when it came to distributing the film, we had great conversations with large distributors and even studios, and they're like, wow, you guys have balls. And they're like, oh, cool, like,
all right, help us out. They're like, hey, this conversation never happened. See you later, and by the way, good luck.
Yeah. So
there are very few out there, outlets for people to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're doing what we even talk about. If no one's build your own thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Build your own thing. And you guys did that. I know we're leading to that, but
well, initially that's what it was. So we had garnered a list based on the director of like almost 200,000 people that wanted to see the film. And so we said, why not just build the app ourselves? It'll cost, I don't know, less than $100,000. We can do it probably. And we'll build it just for that particular film, and they can watch it. We can make some money back. And because it was a small budget, but it wasn't a micro budget. Well, in the terms of like indie film, it was a couple $1,000,000. But ultimately we decided, like, with conversations with our friends and the current state of the industry, and knowing that, if you get it on Tubi, it's lost in a sea of 300,000 plus titles and no one can find it. We said, let's create a place just for indie film that isn't like a giant sea of crap, that is, curated by our team of indie filmmakers. Everybody that basically works with us has been in the industry. And a lot of them, have been they haven't had a job, for years and years and years, just because of the current state of the industry, which is a total disaster, as you guys both know.
And we want to keep our art alive, so we looked at ourselves and we said, hey, we have a ton of friends who they've gone through this nightmare, and they're, on Amazon, and they're getting their $15 a check quarterly, quarterly check.
Oh, I know.
It's just so buried. And so, people have that scroll fatigue, and we figured, hey, this is a really good opportunity for us to, showcase great titles and start acquiring new stuff. And most importantly, build a community, keep the art alive, keep our friends working. Hopefully somebody will watch a film, be inspired by, that director, and get on somehow contact them, and they can work on a project together or something. That's ultimately our dream, is just to keep this going. We have to keep our art alive. That's just the main purpose of this.
People are screaming for it. On the filmmaker side and the viewer side, they're sick of the franchise films, the IP over and over and over again.
Agendas, et cetera, et cetera.
Female superheroes.
We talk about that a lot. Let's take a look. Let's give people a taste of what's on Yow TV. Here's a little promo. Nice. It's got like the let's see, I think I have right here this Yow right here. Here's the site. It's literally yow.tv.
Yes.
There you go. Cool. Now, what led to making the platform? It was just not getting a distribution deal you were happy with? And how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where it started. And then just, doing a ton of market research, understanding, that there's all these, subscription models, for indie film that are more based, or I guess focused on, really very art house films, things like that. And there's a lot of things in between that don't really fit into that category that are still really, really good. But for us, it's like, if it's good, we want it. It doesn't matter. We don't have, a crazy agenda. We're not categorizing things by race or by, sexual orientation, things like that. We just think that if it's good, it's good. It should have a home. And the two things that we really focus on are visibility and discovery, which are, the most important things to a filmmaker and a viewer. So
we've got over 1,000 people watching live right now, and we've got questions from our audience.
Let's do it.
Let's take, I'm going to leave the website up because I want people to check it out, but let's go here. Alan, if you help me out.
Sure. Excuse me. From ADLs, many filmmakers that Film Threat interviews lament over the struggle for finding streaming distribution that offers them a fair financial kickback. What is Yow doing to appeal to these creatives?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, number one, we can knock out all of the middlemen, right? If you come directly to us. So you don't need a sales agent. You don't need an aggregator right now. At the current time, you can submit and go directly to us. So you can cut those percentages out right away. You can choose your monetization model. I mean, we are an AVOD platforms. It's not strictly AVOD. We are giving those filmmakers the opportunity to monetize via TVOD or PVOD or however they want to run that, or for a certain time frame. Check it out. And the typical breakdown is like a 70-30 if you're going to, Amazon or Apple or something like that. We're doing an 80-20 split. Of course, we have to pay for, operations and things like that. And then, of course, our AVOD is 50-50, We're working on something right now called the Artist Portal, very much like a Spotify situation, to where if you as an artist or a distributor, basically we're sick of reporting because it's like the worst thing.
It just takes so much time.
And I hate Excel spreadsheets. So it's like, let's automate this. So you as an artist, hopefully in this next coming year, I mean, we're brand new. We've been operating for 8 months now, but we're constantly building and innovating for the filmmaker and asking people, you know, what is it that you need as a filmmaker, right? What is the ideal platform? So for us, it's transparency and the opportunity to make more revenue based on, you know, the breakdown of the waterfall too. So
here's more questions or comments.
All right, from Lord Thoth. This is such a great interview on the state of the industry.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Lord Thoth.
Yeah. ADLS 24, with the focus on highlighting indie films, how is it that you plan on keeping things from getting buried on a site as your library content grows over time? Yeah, it's a big thing. The overwhelming number of titles that a lot of these services have.
Hundreds of thousands.
It just gets buried. So a great question. For us, it's another big component that we're in the middle of building out within the platform is the community aspect. So sharing watch lists, that you'll be able to see somebody who has the same kind of taste in film, and you go, man, out of his 50 films, 10 of those I love, and these other 30 I haven't even seen. So that will give the user the ability to just jump into something that they're already going to like. It's it's like sending a mixtape around to friends, turning them onto new bands within the same genres. So that's one approach. In addition to, we're constantly going to be cycling stuff. Things will live again via like watch list, and we're going to constantly be cycling and promoting. So it's kind of one of these things where we don't want anybody to have scroll fatigue. So come to the top, the top tiles. You're going to find something that's entertaining. You're going to find something you're going to like. And it's going to change, and it's always going to be ever rotating, and it's always going to be something decent, at least, a 5 out of 10 at the very least.
Yeah. Right now we're releasing at least 10 new films every Friday. So like Brian said, it's a constant, not necessarily a rotation because we're not taking things off the platform. We have about 600 titles right now, which is obviously very small, but that's our plan. We want to keep it smaller. So you're not just scrolling forever and ever and ever and ever. However, of course, that will grow over time. But the community aspect of this will keep things fresh and keep things, rolling if it's a good title.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. More comments and questions.
Yes, Patrick Lemire asks, Hollywood isn't going to die. It just won't be located in Hollywood anymore.
Agreed.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick.
Marcus Spin, what is the highest profile film they have on the platform?
Oh, man.
I would say it's the Resurrection of Jake the Snake.
Yeah, I'm seeing titles here.
I like that.
There's some really good ones. I mean, we've been making really good relationships with like Welgo USA and Oscilloscope. I mean, Coherence, obviously a great indie film by Jim Burkett. We have this film called Kill Your Friends with Nicholas Hoult. That's a great film. Very high
All
quality.
Superheroes Must Die.
Yeah.
That kind of resonates now. I just saw that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
it's tough.
It is hard. Like what constitutes that? Yeah, exactly.
I know that there's a broad taste. I see you have Stuffed, which is a documentary about taxidermy. I really like that one.
Yeah,
there's some obscure stuff on there.
Yeah, movies we're familiar with. More questions we've got here.
Let's see, Bulbasaur Brutal. Yow. Named after Nathan Fillion's exclamation in Slither. Yow, what's with the spitting?
Yeah, where'd the name come from? Where'd the name come from?
We initially started Yow as a production company, and we have some friends that are out in Hong Kong that we operate with, and we started a production company with them. They had a really cool character that they had built based on Chinese and Japanese characters that ultimately they deemed to mean freedom.
Yeah.
So we just love the idea, Yao, as in like freedom for filmmakers.
Yeah, the character itself, basically, the English word for the character would be Yao. And we said, oh, that's cool. And I think even if you look up Yao, it's like a positive, like yell battle cry type.
Like I stubbed my toe. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to get like a 3-letter, website. I think they're all taken up, but you got one. That's good.
Yeah, that's right.
More questions here.
All right, from Patrick Lemire. Does Yao TV have theatrical release as part of the strategy?
Definitely down the road. I mean, the film that we just shot in Thailand, it is a Thai film.
Yeah.
So we will look for theatrical release in Southeast Asia, and then we will hold the US rights most likely on Yao TV.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we think theatrical should live on, for forever and ever and ever. It's an experience that we all had that hopefully doesn't slip away. And, there's great films coming out now that I think will keep it alive. But I mean, it's definitely part of our strategy later on down the road.
Oh, Chris, they have the coffee table on Yao TV.
Oh, yes. I love the coffee table.
I was going to say that as one of the higher tier, but
don't watch that if you have children.
Yeah. Oh,
or just had a baby.
I recommended that movie to. Hey, if you've not seen the coffee table, check it out on Yao.tv now. That's awesome.
By the way, guys, everything on Yao is free. We're in the middle of testing all of our advertisements right now. So we're not running any ads except for on like 10 titles. So everything is completely free. All you need is your phone number or email, and watch away.
Okay.
Yeah.
More
Although
questions.
put those ads on the coffee table. That's all. ADLs 24. Have you thought about partnerships for set time periods, monthly, quarterly, with distributors of physical media who re-release old films like Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow, or indie production studios?
Definitely a version of that. So we have some really exciting new features coming out. One of them being the Indie Social Club.
Yeah.
So that will be our only subscription tier. So the platform will always be free unless a filmmaker decides that they want it to be, their TVOD. Very low entry point, but what will happen essentially is that every month a notable person in the industry, a filmmaker, or even someone within the Yao TV community will have the chance to choose a film, highlight a film from our library that's either released or currently in the pipeline. And then we will showcase that film throughout the month, throughout that subscription tier. And it's essentially like a book club. We'll have a Q&A just like this.
Yep. At the end of the month.
Exactly. At the end of the month with that person who chose the film, and then people can join in and discuss, what it meant to them, or, their thoughts on that particular film. So with that said, we will look for shorter runs with, bigger titles and things like that. We're already looking into that with our library as well. Just, keeping that constant rotation. We might have shorter runs rather than tying something up for 2 years or something of the sort.
We could start a film threat recommend section with
Absolutely.
coffee table. And on there
over and over, coffee
Let's
table.
do it.
Coffee
It's just
table.
all the and this is my question also from Caveat Ties.
All right. How does one get on Yao TV? You're talking about a filmmaker. How does one get on Yao TV?
So you can submit to submissions at yao.tv. There's a little link at the bottom of the site you can go to. It'll take you to that portal. I'll ask you a couple questions, and sorry, our site's kind of
it's on there. It's at the bottom.
Yep. It's got to populate.
Yeah. Or just send an email with a link to your trailer and information about the film, and we'll get back to you with a fillable form.
Be patient. We're very small.
Yeah,
but we read everything. We go through it all. We touch all the films. Joey, myself, and our team. So
and some of them touch us.
That's right.
We talk about it all the time on this show that there's an indie film revolution. I mean, Hollywood is going through so much change. I think they've overextended. They've just leaned into IP, big franchises. They can't make a movie for under 100 million that is successful. And there's a revolution, and you guys are leading the revolution.
I'd hope so.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah. I'm serious.
That is the goal. We know there's such a need for this, and it just stems from the place of we want our friends to stay working. We want to make cool shit with our friends. This is what we do, and we're very blessed. So let's keep the art alive. And if this is like the beginning wave to that, jump on. Let's go. Let's ride the wave in together.
Well, look at what happened to the music industry. When
Yeah.
I mean, we're always 10 years behind them.
Yeah.
And if you look at something like Spotify, ultimately that's one of our aspirations to become the home for the independent artist who can monetize and gain recognition based off of the community who is watching their material.
Well, I hope that some of the movies that are at Award This are ones that you guys are affiliated with. I'd love to. I don't even know if I didn't. Al and I were so busy that night. I don't know if you went, but I hope to see you next year.
We're in Thailand.
Event. Yeah, you've got to come. It's a great time. We're in a room with all indie filmmakers.
Yeah,
we love it. In attendance.
We've watched the last couple of years. It's so fun, man. You guys just have a blast.
Yeah.
We'll get you drinks. Show up, please.
That's all you got to say. We're easy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Download it, get it. Yow.tv. Sign up. Because my movie Attack of the Doc, I'm about to get the rights back from the company. Maybe there's a good fit.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think there's probably a few good fits between us.
Yeah. I think
double feature with the coffee table.
That's right.
I love that movie.
And there's a Turkish coffee table.
Yeah, there is. There's a Turkish.
Is for real?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes. Watch out. We're gonna get it.
It was the same plot. I'm still not watching it.
Joey Bryan, great to finally meet you. Thank you so much for your support of Film Threat. We appreciate it. I'll see you at Award This next year, and I'm sure we'll talk before that.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
Thank you for all you guys do, man. You guys
all right, have fun in the editing capital of the world.
We will.
Okay, later. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, later, guys.
That was awesome.
Great.
That was great. I love, and so message to everyone: go out, sign up, check out what they have. It's free. Not many streaming services are free these days. So there you go. We still have business, Alan. We have comments and business. I'm not sure which comments you got to, but we will. That's why you watch the show live. That's why you watch the show live. All right. Let's talk DunesDay. That is Avengers, Doomsday, and Dune Part 3. They're playing a game. Release date chicken. Dune Part 3, everyone knows, has all the IMAX screens for the release on December 18th, 1 week before Christmas. And that's going to severely cut into Doomsday. Let's take a look at this. A story from Forbes. Alan, I know you have notes. Let's take a look at this. Are they going to change? Could Doomsday move their date?
All right. Well, Hollywood, it was poised for another Barbenheimer-style box office showdown dubbed DunesDay, with Avengers Doomsday and Dune Part 3 both scheduled to release on December 18th. While the idea of the two massive blockbusters colliding generated buzz, it also raised eyebrows, since studios typically avoid direct competition to prevent splitting audiences and hurting overall revenue. Unlike the rare successes of Barbenheimer, this kind of head-to-head clash, especially involving an Avengers film, seems unusually risky. Now reports suggest that Avengers Doomsday may move its release up 1 week to December 11th. The key reason isn't fear of losing to Dune, but rather strategic play for IMAX screens. Dune 3 has already secured a large share of IMAX theaters, which are crucial for maximizing box office returns due to the higher ticket prices and premium viewing demand. By shifting its release dates, Doomsday could take advantage of those screens for at least one full weekend before Dune takes over. Even if both films open on the same day, Avengers Doomsday would certainly dominate based on the franchise's track record. By comparison, Dune 1 debuted at 41 million, Dune 2 at 82 million. While Dune is a major success on its own right, those numbers highlight just how consistently the Avengers films operate in box office scale. Ultimately, the potential shift isn't about backing down, but about maximizing advantage. Opening a week early allows Marvel to avoid splitting the audience, securing valuable IMAX screens, and maintaining the kind of dominant performance the Avengers brand is known for, rather than leaving any revenue on the table in an unnecessary box office clash.
Well, I do think that Avengers Doomsday is going to move. It may even move into 2027.
That
So
would be bad.
that'd be what if they move to, let's say, April or May 2027. That would be 1 year later than their release date. They are currently going into 2 months of reshoots. They call it, Kevin Feige calls it plussing the movie. That means maybe you've got a line here you could improve with some jokes. I don't know. I have no inside knowledge of how massive the changes and reshoots, and maybe it's not the correct way to call it reshoots. They call it additional photography.
Yeah, you know what I call it? I call it the Marvel method. I mean, that's the way they did. They would draw the comic first and then add the story and dialogue in after.
That was how, if you've watched documentaries about how Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did comics, Stan Lee would come into the bullpen. He kind of pitched the broad strokes of the story. He would even act it out in very Shakespearean dramatic reading of Marvel. It's clobbering time. He'd act it out. Jack Kirby would go back and draw it. He'd leave little space here and there for balloons, and then Stan Lee would put in the words, and it worked. That's what built Marvel.
Yeah.
The
risk wasn't that high compared to a $100 million movie.
Yeah, look, so I think Doomsday either moves up by a week because Jumanji already moved from the 11th to the 25th. That leaves an open spot. That means Doomsday could move up a week and get an extra week of IMAX screens. And I believe that Doomsday in January, if it does move to the 11th, in January, it's going to go back to IMAX screens. Dune Part 3 has an exclusive 3 weeks, nearly all the IMAX screens except in international. But what were we going to say, Alan?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the last Avengers movie was Endgame. It just, this article points out the track record of an Avengers movie. That's gone. That's long gone. Too much time has passed. Movies haven't been that good. No one's excited about this. No one knows what it's about. So yeah, why not move it up a week? If you're doing this for ego and for status, it's the wrong reason. And then all these reshoots going on just shows you, rarely is a movie good that doesn't have a plan or doesn't have a script beforehand that people are following. And it's just not looking good for Doomsday. At least Dune had a book to go off of.
Well, and don't get me started on Dune. Dune Part 3, I think it will be a mixture. It's going to be a mixture of Dune Messiah and Children of Dune. Events from Children of Dune are likely to take place within this Part 3. That's why it's not called Dune Messiah. It's not an exact adaptation. It's same thing with Dune Part 1 and 2 were not precise. They focused on certain things, certain characters like Thufir Hawat were missed in Part 2, which I really would have liked to have seen Thufir Hawat. They kind of, don't you know Thufir Hawat?
No, but I do know. I do know their kids, Leto and Veronica, or whatever the girl's name is.
It's Ganima. I don't know the correct pronunciation. I go to I defer to Nerd Cookies for pronunciations.
Yeah, I mean, look,
the universe.
What Avengers Doomsday has going for it is people know the characters.
Well, but I'll say this: I think Dune has the momentum.
Yeah.
You and I were at that Dune Part 3 trailer reveal event.
Yeah.
The enthusiasm was amazing. I have seen since seen the trailer in the wild in front of movies at my AMC Burbank, and you know what? Everyone clapped and applauded and cheered for the trailer. They did not for other trailers. And those other Avengers Doomsday trailers, the kind of series of trailers, kind of all landed with a thud.
Well, it felt like we were being manipulated. Oh, look, Chris Evans. You must love this.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
I mean,
I saw all those trailers in the theater and nobody clapped. Nobody cheered. Nobody was excited. But if they move the date, are they going to make? They have this countdown clock. You can go to the countdown clock at Marvel. It's just on always. Counting
Someone's
down
gonna
to
record
Doomsday.
the moment.
Are they
that
going to
clock
have
is-
to just, you know,
roll it back?
roll it up, or what are they going to do?
Someone's gonna do a live stream of the clock being rolled back.
I mean, almost every way they've had to promote Avengers Doomsday, every way has landed with a thud. The chair reveal, what was that, like a 3-hour stream revealing the cast? That kind of didn't get the attention they thought. The rollout of these trailers, the X-Men, Wakanda, and the FF, Steve Rogers didn't. I want to know what the story is, but Dune has got people, and I'll just say what at least from what I saw being at the event, what I know from having read the books, it's going to be more palace intrigue, more of a thriller. It'll be more Godfather 2 meets Revenge of the Sith. It's not going to be what people expect. It's
Well, there's
not
a sense
just-
that Villeneuve understood the books, and I
yes,
think
I believe that. Having talked
I mean,
to-
I say that everyone knows the characters of Avengers. The reality is if you were to place money on it, Dune is probably going to be the better movie from a movie storytelling standpoint.
But I think Doomsday is the more commercial. But what will put superhero fatigue aside for a second? Marvel released 3 movies last year, and every single one underperformed. At a time when Marvel could just release anything, it was $1 billion. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
So what do? I do think it will move in some way. Although I will say this, having just lived on a longer timeline, lots of big movies opened on the same day. Is there a crossover between Dune fans and Marvel fans?
I think so. I mean, it's winter break. You're gonna have time to see more than one movie.
Right.
I think this is the smart move for Avengers because they need to make money, and I do think they will make more money premiering on its own. The point there is your movie good enough for repeat viewing? Because if it's not, then we're going to watch Doomsday opening weekend, and then we're going to watch Dune, and then we'll watch Dune again, and then watch Dune again. And, unless Doomsday pulls it out and becomes a great movie, this is the only way they're going to make some kind of money off this film.
Well, my prediction is Marvel will blink.
Yep.
Hey, another story here. James Marsden says Hugh Jackman was missed on the Avengers Doomsday set. Alan, I know you have you've got notes for this story. It's from comicbook.com. Let me toss this up here. What do you got?
Yeah, well, James Marsden is stepping back into the visor as Cyclops in Avengers Doomsday, marking his first substantial return to the role in over a decade after a brief cameo in X-Men Days of Future Past. After originally playing Scott Summers throughout the early X-Men trilogy, Marsden's version of the character was sidelined in later films, making this return feel more like a revival and a second chance. What makes his comeback especially surprising is how casually it came together. Marsden revealed that he signed on without ever reading the script, agreeing purely based on conversations about the project. His response was, "Yeah, sure, of course," suggests a strong level of trust in the filmmakers. A big part of Marsden's reflection centered on the absence of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, whose rivalry with Cyclops was a defining element of the earlier films. He describes the dynamic as a brotherly, healthy competition for the same girl, full of tension and irritation, and admitted that Jackman's presence is missed. At the same time, he will not confirm whether Wolverine appears in Doomsday, hinting that there may be more surprises still under wraps. The film itself is poised to present a different take on Cyclops. Release teaser footage shows a more emotional, intense version, far removed from the often restrained leader seen in the original trilogy. Without Wolverine in the mix, Marsden may have more space to explore Cyclops as a central figure rather than foil. The reason I laugh is I think this guy is just thinking too much about what's going on here.
Well, I mean, they're
yeah.
rivals. They're rivals in the comics. The characters are rivals in the animated series. So you'd think they'd have a scene together. It's confirmed that they don't. What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
Adam?
I mean, my feeling is that from what people have said is even the X-Men don't last that long in this movie. And that's why I find it funny that this guy's a chance to re-explore the character. Well, no, that's not going to happen. He'll be dead.
They'll have very dramatic moments. I think we're going to see these characters where we're saying goodbye to many long characters that have been around the Marvel universe a long time. You know, I mean, James Marsden has been playing Cyclops since what, 1999 with the first X-Men movie. That's 27 years.
Yeah, and it's 4 movies. One is essentially a cameo.
And by the way, he looks really good. He really has not aged all that much. And he's really good in the Sonic movies as whatever you think of those movies. Those are fun.
I know. I can't help but think because he was hot for Famke Johnson in the first 3 movies.
Yeah. Well, that played out probably more in the animated series. Who knows? But look, we have heard so much. I feel like rumors we've heard or things we've been told are all going to change because they're doing 2 months of reshoots. Now, excuse me, 2 months of additional photography for the film. The script is changing. It's being plussed, as Kevin Feige is fond of saying. And you know what? I'll say it's worked. It's worked. That the plussing, and also this is not something Marvel innovated. This is something that there's a really good book that I'm going to recommend for those of you that are filmmakers or just want to get some insight into the real how the sausage is made. There's a book called When the Shooting Stops, the Cutting Begins. It's by Ralph Rosenblum. He is a longtime Hollywood editor. He famously edited the movie Annie Hall, which by Woody Allen, which won the Oscar for Best Picture the year Star Wars was also nominated for Best Picture. Star Wars lost to Annie Hall, then Woody Allen did not show up to get his Oscar. Anyways, the famous story behind Annie Hall is that the movie was about 3 relationships that Woody Allen's character had in the film with 3 different women. And the movie was like 3 hours long. And about each hour was spent with a different relationship. Well, in the editing of it, it's like, look, this isn't really work. Let's just focus it on Diane Keaton's character, Annie Hall. So they recut this 3-hour epic movie about Woody getting in failed relationships with women. They focused it on Diane Keaton's character, Annie Hall. And he famously wrote on the way he was being driven by a cab to the recording session to record the VO for the opening of Annie Hall. And he wrote it in the cab. That movie was made in the cutting room. Read that book. This is not necessarily a bad thing when you hear of now they just put it in the schedule. This is not like something they're like, we got to save the movie. This was planned. So it also means if they're doing 2 months and they're using the entire 2 months, I think they're making a lot of changes.
Yeah. Well, let's not also forget that
the book again is When the Shooting Stops, the Cutting Begins. The best book I've ever read about editing. It's not technical. It's more about story and how to make movies better in the cutting room.
How to shape a story together after you've shot
exactly.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the other great example is Iron Man, the first movie, where the script was being written the morning of shooting
on set. But when you get talented people like Robert Downey Jr., you can do that.
Yeah.
This movie is a big swing. I don't think we've seen all the marketing push for it. I think is kind of landed with a thud. I think we want to know, what is the story? Who are the characters we will focus on? We know there will be cameos. And look, we've heard what the story is. Honestly, it doesn't sound all that great, but even that can change quite a bit.
Well, let's just say that story is what got me to never buy another Marvel comic again.
Well, we'll see. We shall see, Alan. I mean, obviously, we're going to be there. If we have to see 2 movies in one day, we'll do it.
I'm sure we'll be seeing it the Monday of.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The way that Disney movies, they show it, because Alan and I are like, whatever the bottom of the priority for press is, we're underneath that.
Yeah.
They literally invite us the last minute on the Monday before a film opens. Then it opens on Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
We get a little window before, but that's all.
Well, I mean, it's what they do. All studios do this. The people who get the premieres and the early screenings are the ones who are most likely going to give it a good review. Or you're a social media shill.
Yeah, well, we can only be honest. I'm gonna hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Let's go to your comments.
Yeah.
Starting with Carnell, good to see you.
We're just hoping the Russo brothers, Electro State. Okay. Carnell for 10. Is it too early to request a versus guest for the release of Doomsday and Dune 3? I request Benny Gesserit Mama, aka Comic Book Girl 19, aka Danica 19, for the panel. That's if Doomsday still happens.
100% Danica will be here. We'll get her here probably earlier than that. We'll get her on here. I've been talking to her. I don't know if you saw the trailer for her Akira movie. Is amazing. Yeah. We keep in touch. She did move. She moved from where she used to live in the LA area. And I don't know if she's revealed where she moved. I'm just going to leave that up to her. But so I would run into her. I don't really see her all that much, but we keep in touch. She'll be on it, Carnell. Remember to remind me, but we will send each other Dune memes.
Well, she was at the Dune 2 screening, or
she came with us to see Dune Part 2, and she got a bucket, and they were gone after that. I'm surprised she got one. That was the Thursday it opened. So,
that was the bucket, wasn't it?
We'll start from the bottom and make sure.
Doc Possum, Ryland Grace was a superhero. His superpower was science.
Oh, I love that. I love that theory. He had the virtues of a superhero: bravery, self-sacrifice. I mean, it was sort of a little twist on that.
Forced bravery.
He rose to the occasion.
Yeah. Which is a great story. The Immortal Remus, Marvel released 3 films last year. That's right.
You probably forgot Captain America, Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four.
3 movies.
Right?
Yep.
3 movies, and they all did okay.
Did they? Phil S. Preston Esquire. Profitability will not return in Avengers Doomsday.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
Oh, thanks, Bill.
English Batchers. Avengers can make $1 billion and still be the biggest flop in history. Needs to make $2 billion to break even. No way, man.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
Well, they fired the leader, so we'll see what happens. Fresh snow. Don't forget Jumanji.
Jumanji. Well, Jumanji is opening on Christmas Day, which makes more sense. More of a family.
Yeah. Archer Merchant for 2. Dune has IMAX. It will probably embarrass Doomsday.
I think Doomsday will make more money. Dune Part 3 doesn't need to make a lot of money. It was made for under 200. I think 170.
Mm-hmm.
And I have something I'll talk about on Friday. I saw the Ramayana trailer at a special event. Midnight tonight, we're going to release the Q&A from that event. Ramayana is an Indian film, and the filmmakers who made Ramayana, they did the effects for Dune, and I can't talk about it until like Friday.
Okay.
But I'm going to release the Q&A midnight tonight. and we'll react to the Ramayana trailer on Friday. But you'll see, like, they're this Indian studio, and their effects are jaw-dropping and spectacular. Thanks, Archer.
To this comment though, Dune is something I think you have to see in IMAX versus Doomsday.
Yeah, and it costs way less than Doomsday. I don't know if you got to these comments.
No. Bill S. Preston Esquire, there was no real dog in Superman. Ominous music.
Dun dun dun.
Okay.
Hey, nerd cookies.
Okay, I'm so tired of that dog. I have crypto fatigue.
You and me both. Her videos, please sub to Nerd Cookies, her channel. I watch her videos. I watch her streams. Well, when I say watch, I mean listen. I listen normally on my walks. I walk like 5 miles a day. I listen to YouTube. There you go. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, ADLS24, and Ololique on Rumble. Thanks to Atomic Glory, Glenuccio. Thanks to Alan, who worked his tail off this month in preparation, all enthusiastic. We're going to CinemaCon.
Yes. I'm looking forward to CinemaCon.
He's looking forward to not writing reviews for a week.
Yes. I love when the studios over-promise and under-deliver. We're entering the over-promise stage right now.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about Godzilla Minus Zero. We're going to see presentations from Warner Brothers and Disney and Paramount and Amazon Studios, and we're going to see them all. We'll be doing live streams from CinemaCon, from the show floor, and it's going to be a spotty schedule, folks. So please click the bell for notifications. While we're in Vegas at CinemaCon, there's no verses that week, no Hollywood on the Rocks. It's just Alan and I doing a live show every day from CinemaCon. Every day. That's Sunday night, road stream. Monday, probably a couple streams. So stay with us.
I'm gonna probably test the road stream on Saturday when I go down to San Diego.
Oh, that's great. And here's a great way to Alan, if you would read that.
It's a Bruce Leroy Jenkins for 2.
Why did I so loud? Who is that? Is that?
It's Bruce Lee with a fro.
Okay, I thought it was someone else. Thank you, Bruce Leroy Jenkins. And thank you, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in to watch us. Thank you for your support of the channel. We will see you on Friday. What are we reviewing?
Super Mario Galaxy.
Yes, that's right. Super Mario Galaxy, the drama, which stars Batman and Shawnee.
Wow, what a team up.
And then Hunting Matthew Nichols. I saw that film, and we'll have a Ramayana trailer reaction and review. So for those of you that subbed to the channel from India, tune in Friday. Look for that. So there you go. Alan, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, let's get out of here.